Let's start. Number 9, the steam-powered pigeon. Around the 1st century CE, Greek inventor Hero of Alexandria came up with what might be the first recorded attempt at a flying machine. The steam-powered pigeon, using hollow tubes, heated water, and carefully balanced mechanics, Hero claimed he could make a wooden bird flap its wings and glide through the air. It wasn't meant for war or travel, just as a demonstration of engineering brilliance. The idea was revolutionary. Steam would create pressure, forcing air through the tubes, moving the wings, and supposedly launching the pigeon into flight. For spectators, it must have looked like magic on a bird that moved without strings, flapping under its own power. In an age where flight was considered godlike, this was jaw-dropping. But the reality is, Hero's pigeon didn't actually fly the way we think of today. At best, it may have glided a few feet before falling. Steam power was too weak, and the mechanics weren't sophisticated enough to sustain motion. Still, the attempt was extraordinary. This wasn't just a toy, it was a glimpse at humans' obsession with conquering the skies. Hero's pigeon never replaced actual birds, but it proved something important. Even in the ancient world, people were already building machines that blurred the line between life and technology. Long before planes or drones, a Greek engineer was sketching the ancestors of aviation. Number 8, the Perpetual motion machine. If there's one invention that has obsessed dreamers, frauds, and optimists for centuries, it's the Perpetual motion machine. The promise is irresistible, a device that never stops, never needs fuel, and produces free energy forever. Imagine a wheel that spins endlessly, or a fountain that recycles its own water indefinitely. To inventors, it was the ultimate shortcut, the machine that would make you richer than kings. On paper, the sketches always looked brilliant. In reality, the second you built one, it slowed down, wobbled, and embarrassed you in front of everyone. The problem is physics itself. The laws of thermodynamics say, no, energy always leaks away as heat, friction, or resistance. You can't cheat reality, but tell that to Johann Orpheus, an 18th century inventor who convinced half of Europe that his giant wooden wheel spun forever. Nobles came to see it, swore it worked, and handed him piles of money. What they didn't know, he had hidden servants inside the frame, pushing it when no one was looking, and it was one of history's most audacious scams, and it worked beautifully. Even into the 20th century, hopeful inventors kept trying. The US Patent Office got so flooded with designs for perpetual motion machines that it eventually banned them. Their rule, you have to build a working prototype before we even look at your paperwork. Unsurprisingly, no one has managed that. The dream keeps getting crushed by math, but here's the thing, perpetual motion videos still pop up online today. Some guy in his garage, surrounded by car batteries and PVC pipes, proudly claims he's cracked the code. Spoiler, he hasn't. Yet, the fantasy never dies because it taps into something universal. We all want something for nothing, and if history proves anything, it's that even the most impossible dream can keep people tinkering forever. Number 7, the anti-gravity device of John Worrell Keely. In the late 19th century, inventor John Worrell Keely made headlines by claiming he had discovered a mysterious new force of nature he called etheric energy. Using this secret power, he built bizarre contraptions that supposedly defied gravity, ran without fuel, and could power anything forever. His most famous invention, an anti-gravity engine that he demonstrated in front of wealthy investors, Keely would present a brass machine full of tubes, levers, and tuning forks, then dramatically flip a switch. The device would hiss, whirl, and appear to move on its own, as though powered by some unseen energy source. Investors were dazzled. They poured money into his company, dreaming of limitless energy and machines that could rewrite the laws of physics. The truth, however, was less impressive. Keely's inventions were elaborate hoaxes. Investigations after his death revealed hidden compressors and cleverly disguised pneumatic systems that made the machines move. There was no etheric force, just stagecraft. But by then, he had already kept investors hooked for decades, proving that impossible inventions don't always fail because of science. Sometimes they succeed as long as you're good at faking it. Still, Keely's hoax reveals something deeper. People desperately wanted to believe in the impossible. His fake anti-gravity machines weren't just scams. They were symbols of a society hungry for miracles, and in that sense, his invention, though fake, accomplished something real. It gave people hope for a future beyond the limits of the possible. Number 6. Leonardo da Vinci's Mechanical Knight. Leonardo da Vinci wasn't satisfied with just painting masterpieces or dissecting cadavers. He also wanted to create robots. 5 centuries before Boston Dynamics, around 1495, he sketched plans for a fully mechanical knight. This contraption, powered by gears, pulleys, and counterweights, could sit up, wave its arms, turn its head, and even open its jaw. Picture a medieval robot knight that could bow politely, then scare the life out of peasants who thought it was possessed. For centuries, people assumed these sketches were just doodles, but in the 20th century, robotics experts reconstructed the design using only the technology of Leonardo's time. To everyone's shock, it worked exactly as he described. His mechanical knight could perform basic program motions, proving that Leonardo wasn't joking. He had genuinely tried to build an automaton in the middle of the Renaissance, when most of Europe was still debating whether bathing was healthy. The problem, of course, was scaling it up. Metal gears and cables in the 1400s weren't precise enough to mass-produce something so complex. One prototype might stagger around impressively, but an army of robot knights? Impossible, not to mention terrifying. Imagine a squad of armored automata stomping across a battlefield. Soldiers wouldn't know whether to fight them or start praying. Leonardo's robot stayed locked in his notebooks, forgotten for centuries. Today, though, it feels less like science fiction and more like prophecy. While his contemporaries were bleeding patients with leeches, Leonardo was sketching the ancestor of modern robotics. It proves once again that Da Vinci was operating on a completely different level, centuries ahead of his time, dreaming up machines the world wasn't ready to